How to protect your personal brand. We're going to discuss that inside. How to protect your personal brand. Step 1, be careful about online postings. Because in the world we're living in today, you can't get away with much. People are taking videos, people are taking photos, and what are they after? The positive things you're doing or the negative things? There's much greater traction out of negativity than positivity. Positive news doesn't fly. Negative news is what sells, and negative news about you and what you're doing is what people love to sink their teeth in. Be careful. Number 2, if content is posted about you and it is inaccurate, challenge it with great intensity. Go after the source that posted something negative about you, because today, online, it's permanent unless you challenge it and get it removed. I personally have had issues with this. I must share this because it's kind of crazy. When I was 10 years old, that was a long time ago, by the way, when I was 10, I got into a fight with a kid in the 5th grade. 5th grade. I'll just say his name was Bill. We got into a fight. I punched him in the arm because he called me a name. I don't remember the name. It was so long ago. Punched him in the arm. He cried and ran off and reported me to the principal. So I got in trouble because I punched him. He got in trouble because he called me a name. We were 10. Didn't see the guy for years. He was in my school. It was a big school through high school, 4 years of high school. Didn't even remember him. Until we were about 23 years old, and coincidentally we lived across the street from each other. Well, he then approached me. Hey, Mitch, do you remember when you beat me up when we were 10? Okay, Bill, now that you remind me of this, yes, and you called me a name which warranted me hitting you, at least in the mind of a 10-year-old at the time. He said, well, I never forgot it, and you embarrassed me. Oh, okay. Sorry, Bill. I hope you have a nice life. See ya. Let's now fast forward many years later, 7 years ago from today. He started commenting on other people's YouTube videos where I was being interviewed, and he wrote very, very inappropriate comments about me. These were clients, people paying money to me, and he was alleging all sorts of inaccuracies from a harbored resentment from when we were 10 years old. I then had to go to all the people that he had been commenting, and he took it upon himself as a life mission to get back at me from when I socked him in the arm at 10 years old. I challenged it. I went and I approached YouTube and said, this guy is saying this, this, and this. I had to have people remove it. He commented on my videos, on my YouTube channel. I had to ban comments for a while and get his account removed from YouTube. Very important to challenge it, because I don't even want to repeat, so I don't want to get the ball rolling of the negativity, but it was extreme. So much so that I had to get a lawyer to sue him for libel. That's how bad it got. So be careful about inaccuracy and challenge it, because it's your reputation. Number 3, bury unwanted postings. Bury them. Get rid of them. How do you do that? Oftentimes, the best way to do that is by putting a lot of content, so it starts to get pushed down inside the Google listing. So if somebody were to say, blah, 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 ran a red light, you need to have all sorts of great postings from strong sites that'll push that negative information down. So you want to bury them to the best of your ability. And that is a whole topic onto itself, but you want to make sure to protect your brand. Number 4, brand consistently, meaning your colors are the same. Your messages are consistently communicated to your audience. Be perceived as the brand expert in your category, whatever that is. If you are a specialist with red roses for Valentine's Day, your colors probably need to include red, need to include rose, need to include all the colors of roses. And this is just a random topic, but you need to have some brand consistency. Number 5, brand congruently. Well, these go together. Brand consistently, if we were to go back, is consistently, regularly posting about your expertise, and congruently involves your colors and your messaging. Those two need to go together. Number 6, produce a quality image. Out in the marketplace, do you want to be perceived as someone who is not matching expectations? Or do you want to match or exceed expectations so your image is looked upon favorably, positively, with respect and admiration, so they want to engage and consume your information? Number 7, think like a recruiter and Google yourself regularly. I did not know what was going on with my name and brand when this person named Bill was posting comments, negative comments about me to clients all over the world. When a recruiter looks at your resume, what do you think they do? They Google you. They look at your Facebook pages. They look at your Twitter. They look at your Instagram. Their reasoning is to find anything that will deselect you from the recruitment process. That may sound strange to you, but they're not looking to hire you in many cases. They're looking for ways to not hire you. Why is that? They don't want to be associated with someone with a disreputable profile, because guess what happens? You get linked to the company. If they have employees that are seen drinking, partying, being in provocative poses, and you're working for Procter & Gamble, that runs against their rules and regulations for their employees. They're not going to hire you. That's their job as a recruiter. So make sure you Google yourself, look at yourself on YouTube, and see, would you hire you? Be smart. Think like a recruiter. Number 8, and this is something that maybe I'm a bit over the top with this, you determine. Unless you are in the liquor business, this is the only exception I'm going to say. Unless you are in the liquor business, wine business, you sell spirits, holding cocktails and being with a bunch of people with your eyes half shut, do you think that looks good as a permanent picture in your file, your digital file online? So holding cocktails and cheering it up and then looking drunk, the perception of being drunk, how do you think you're going to be perceived with a prospective business arrangement or a prospective person in your life that you're engaging with? It's either business or personal, and they're seeing you drink it up. You don't know of their religious background. Maybe they don't allow drinking in their religion. This isn't a religious conversation. It's a matter of closing down any way someone can look at you negatively. My opinion, remove the cocktails. Use those photos on private, not for the public. Number 9, guys, ladies, men, avoid risque pics. Okay, if you've got great abs, wonderful. Show them to your private friends. Do not post them and say, look at my six-pack abs, or look at my belly button ring, or bending over a table showing risque pics. how do you think that's going to be received and perceived by prospective clients, prospective employers, prospective in-laws? They look at that and they influence the person you want to marry. So if you've got pictures on a yacht with one leg up in the air showing private parts, don't do it. I don't care, oh, it was fun and I was drunk, all the reason not to do it, keep it private. Birds of a feather flock together. We've heard this expression, avoid controversial friends. For example, I took a picture years ago at a conference with a fellow that had been in prison for X number of years for fraud. His name was Jordan Belfort. He produced this book called The Wolf of Wall Street, and then there was a movie that came out. I took the picture, then the movie came out and the book came out. I would never post that picture online. I want no association. Simply because I know the judgment that will be drawn from people that will receive me and perceive me as being associated with him. His reputation is not great. I really don't care if he learns about this video or not. I don't want any part of someone that defrauded all this money out of lots of investors. If you are associated with people like that or on your friends list and somebody investigates it, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Birds of a feather flock together. Keep your flock close. Number 11, use testimonials endlessly. This will help protect you and your brand. Because if someone has a perceived negative perception of you, what happens with the testimonials? It slowly starts to whittle away at the negativity. The poor perception gets eroded by lots of positive impressions. It's similar to what if you have a negative posting about you online. You've got to have lots and lots of content to push it down. Testimonials serve the same purpose, same effect. It will whittle away at the negative impressions of you. Number 12, and this is the end of the dozen, be mindful of your public conduct. This is where all of your behavior, all the ways that you conduct yourselves in the public eye, because everybody has got a camera phone today. They've got smartphones. You just don't know. If someone falls over, like there was a recent episode in the news where this lady got beaten up because of an Asian violence thing by some guy who had just gotten out of prison. And there were people that were working in a building and they didn't go out and help this poor woman that was beaten and battered by this fellow that just got released out of prison for murder. They stood there. They were deplorable. This 65-year-old woman was knocked to the ground. What do you think is going to happen in the lives of the people who did nothing, that were exposed, not helping this woman? So be mindful that a camera is on you 24/7 today. In 1984, we had a book written by George Orwell. It was called 1984, and it was about Big Brother, seeing and watching you all the time. Guess what, folks? We're in 2021, but this is Big Brother time. George Orwell was right. He was just off with the year. We're a little bit later, but the idea is there. Everybody is seeing everything that you do. Be respectful, be mindful of your public conduct. This video has great information in the description for you to download a full report on how you can protect your brand publicly.